Hello and welcome. In this video, let's take a look at multiple desktops in Windows 10. So, say for example you're performing a task and that task requires multiple applications to be loaded. In this example that I have here, I've got Notepad++ loaded. I've got Microsoft Visual Studio loaded to write some code. And I've got SQL Server loaded. If you're not a programmer, it doesn't matter. These are just applications that I will typically use. It's not uncommon for me to have multiple applications loaded to perform one task. It's a common reoccurrence for myself. I will always typically have more than one application loaded to perform a task. And so this is a good example for me. I've got 3 applications loaded to perform a single task. But let's say I wanted to perform, or you want to perform, a second task that will also require multiple applications to be loaded. What you're not going to want to do is muddy the waters by loading multiple applications on top of all of these applications, because then it can be a little bit confusing and it can certainly get quite messy. So what you're going to want to do is create a new desktop. Now, of course, for those out there that have a multiple monitor setup, you could literally just use the other monitor. But a lot of us don't have room for multiple monitor setups, and actually what this does is it allows you to perform the same thing. It gets the same job done as having a multiple monitor setup, but it allows you to accomplish the same thing using one monitor. So let's take a look. So if we hover over the taskbar, right where the start button is, there's a button to the right of it, and if you hover over it, it says Task View. So let's click on that. Now if you click on that, what you're going to see is 2 things mainly. You're going to see all of the applications that you've currently got loaded, and at the top there you'll see a button that says New Desktop. So if you click on that, we actually end up with 2 desktops. So we end up with the original desktop, and then we've got the new one here, the second one. So as you can see, if I hover over the first one, we've got desktop 1. And if I hover over the second one, we've got desktop 2. And if I hover back over the first one, we'll see that we've got 3 applications associated with the first one. And if I hover over the second one, we've got none. So let's go ahead and click on the second desktop. What we've ended up with is a completely fresh and clean desktop with no applications loaded. So let's go ahead and load up some applications that we might need for task 2. So let's load up Excel, for example, and let's load up, I don't know, let's say Microsoft Edge. So we might be looking at a Excel spreadsheet, and we might, for example, be logged into an email client online, and we might be emailing people that are listed in the spreadsheet. Just a random example that you might have. But what we've been able to do here, and this is the important note to take home, is that we're able to accomplish 2 tasks that both require multiple applications to be loaded, but we've been able to do it in a really clean way. So if I go ahead and hover over the task view, we can actually switch back to desktop 1, and we've got the original applications loaded. And again, as you can see, if we click on task view and we click on desktop 2, we've got the applications loaded that are associated with the second task. So this is a really powerful productivity tool. So you should be able to use this, I would think, in your day-to-day business to accomplish tasks and keep things much more cleaner, much more logical. Now if I click back on the task view button, we can see that there is actually a button here still that says New Desktop. So we can literally create as many desktops as we want. And to actually close those desktops, there's just a little tiny close button in the right hand top corner of each mini desktop there. So we just click on that to close them down. And obviously we can click on one to go to it and click on the other one to go to it. So let's say, for example, let me show you another little feature. Say we load Firefox and we realize that, oh, I've loaded it in the wrong desktop. All you've got to do is click on the task view, grab the application that you want to move, and drag it over to the other desktop. In this instance, desktop 1. And what we've done here is we've actually moved an application from desktop 2 to desktop 1. How cool is that? And since we don't need Firefox, we're going to close it down. The only other thing I want to show you is that you can actually switch between the desktops in a really quick way if you can remember the shortcut keys. So for example, if I click on Windows and Control, I can click on right to go to the second desktop, and I can click on left to go back to the first desktop, and I can switch between the two. And obviously, if I had more than 2 desktops, let's create another one quickly so I can show you that. Desktop 3, and in desktop 3 I'm going to load up Chrome. Okay, let's find a nice picture of a well, I actually meant to write cat, so let's try that again. Cat. Sorry, I can't type today. Let's go to images, and there we go, a nice picture of a cat. So if I was to click on Control Windows, I can go left, second desktop, left, first desktop, and then if I click right, we go to the second desktop, and if I click right again, we go to the third desktop. What I'll do is I'll leave in the description below the shortcuts that I'm pushing in order to switch between the desktops. Okay, and with that said, that probably wraps everything up. Let me just close this one down. I'm just going to kill off the third desktop as well. And you know what? One more tip actually. If I kill off the second desktop and it's got applications loaded, look what happens. Those applications cascade back to the first desktop. So this is an amazingly powerful productivity tool that I don't think people are using it enough. I think that if you can find a way to use this, it's going to make you a lot more productive during your day. And with that said, that wraps up this video. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see similar content to this in the future, consider subscribing. You'll be really helping and supporting the channel. And with that said, enjoy the rest of your day and take care.